Hi News 24 readers, my name is Azarrah Karrim, investigative journalist, and I'm here with my favorite colleague, Koko, who has written a banger piece on the city of Joburg. Khaya, last week you wrote another piece about the city of Joburg. That piece was about city power and the arrest warrants issued for high-profile executives and directors of companies. And you did a reporting notes with our colleague Carl Cowan, in which you were talking about the state of the city, the decaying infrastructure, the water woes, etc., and how that really informs your reporting. And now you've taken us a step further, and you've taken us behind the scenes of the arrest of Joburg Development Agency head Themba Matibe. What does this story mean in the context of ongoing corruption and decay in the city?
Thanks, Azarrah. So the JDA, the Johannesburg Development Agency, has a current budget of 644 million rand for the 2025-26 financial year, and it's in charge of infrastructure development and as well as service delivery in the city. And now its CEO has been caught with large stacks of cash at his Bryanston home,
right.
And was arrested in a high-profile operation involving special forces within the police. And so that also shows, as you mentioned, a continuation of these entities within the city of Johannesburg seemingly being involved in criminal activities, which doesn't bode well for the city. I mean, you just have to live or work in the city to see
right.
that the infrastructure is failing, and now the head of an agency responsible for that has been arrested and is being investigated for serious crimes.
Absolutely. Now expand that to our law enforcement authorities and knowingly or unknowingly their role in this.
So the police arrest Themba Matibe on 26 January. On 27 January, they need to re-enroll the case because there's large sums of money involved and suspicions that the money came from a cash and transit heist. The commercial crime would, according to senior state advocates that we spoke to, that will be the appropriate court for the matter to be enrolled. However, the NPA, specifically the Specialized Commercial Crimes Unit within the NPA in Gauteng, decided not to enroll it in that court, citing a lack of evidence and saying that charges of money laundering would not be able to be sustained in that court. However, when the matter was then moved to the Alexandra Magistrates Court, the same charges of money laundering were enrolled in that case by the senior prosecutor.
Right. And what does it mean? What does it mean for the case to get enrolled in Alex and instead of the Commercial Crimes Court? And why? You've spoken to your sources. You have context of this. Why would they do that?
Well, it would be important to enroll it in the Commercial Crimes Court in Palm Ridge. For one, there are specialized prosecutors for this specific crime, as well as suspicion that there are contraventions of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act, which looks at criminal syndicates and all on. So those prosecutors in that specialized commercial crimes court are trained and do it on a daily
right.
basis, whereas in the Alex Magistrates Court, no offense to those prosecutors, but they deal with more run-of-the-mill theft, murder, and all. That's their speciality. So it remains to be seen how they're going to forge ahead with this matter. But the senior state advocates that we spoke to, as well as senior police officers that we spoke to, said that they needed to have enrolled it in the SCCU rather, because of the specialized skills in that court and in that office vis-a-vis at Alex.
Right. And so it goes back to my intro here. Knowingly or unknowingly, they are stifling efforts to clean up the city of Joburg by doing this.
Yes, and you also cited in your opening city power. And in November, on the 6th, 7th of November, almost 3 months. In fact, 3 months now have passed since warrants of arrest have been issued for the executive management of City Power, which includes the CEO Chifularo Mashaba, as well as the CFO Rendani Sadiki, for alleged fraud and corruption worth about 64 million rand. That matter is still not being enrolled in the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court in Palm Ridge, and so it's the same directors of the NPA who are responsible for enrolling the matter in the SSU for the City Power matter are involved now in the JDA matter as well.
Right. Let's take this way out and zoom way out. These numerous high-profile arrests and busts happening in the city of Joburg comes on the cusp of the local government elections, where now parties are sort of reshuffling leadership. We're seeing new entrants to contest the elections, again in the context of a still failing municipality. I mean, COJ, I don't know if you'll agree with me, has become one of the poster children for municipal failures.
Because it's got the biggest budget, I mean, just under 90 billion rand for this year alone.
Yes, exactly. So tell us how the last two stories that you wrote and published, how does that fit into this context of the upcoming local government elections? What can we expect?
Well, we'll start with the party with the most votes in the city of Johannesburg, the ANC. They, in December, had a regional conference which removed the current mayor, Dada Morero, as chairperson of the ANC. Obviously, the membership of the ANC within the city of Johannesburg, the region, felt that under the leadership of Dada Morero, the city regressed a bit, and they're pinning their hopes on Loyiso Masuku, who seems primed to be the ANC's candidate for local elections. She will have to contend with Helen Zille, who's a big player in South Africa's political scene, who has come in from Cape Town to be the Democratic Alliance's mayoral candidate. I don't see any party outrightly winning the city of Johannesburg.
Right.
Whether those parties are able to work together, or whether parties are able to work together to formulate a stable coalition, remains to be seen. In the last 5 years, it has been nothing but stable.
Are these big corruption busts and stings of high-profile politicians a result of the upcoming national elections? Will it change anything in the bigger picture?
Well, I mean, it'll give ammunition to opposition parties, unless, you know, the ANC, which is leading the coalition currently in Johannesburg, does something to remedy the situation in the next few months. Whether that will happen remains to be seen.
Right. Khaya, you and I have both reported on the city of Joburg, you a lot more than I have. But I want to talk about and bring our viewers into how difficult that actually is. You think it's, you know, a metro, it's not national. It's infinitely harder because of the lack of transparency and the lack of information that the city is willing to provide. Now, in your article this morning, the city basically said, we'll wait for the report back from the board. Didn't give any other substantial information. And in my experience, that's a lot more than they've ever told me. But what is this deflection of responsibility, this untransparent nature in the way that the city operates? What does that reveal about the city, and especially about these shareholder entities like City Power, like Johannesburg Property Company, JDA?
Well, I mean, I was also surprised to get responses. The city is usually not forthcoming when it comes to the shareholder, that is. The entities will respond, not so much the city. They will always defer to the entities and their boards to respond on this on their behalf. On this occasion, I think the city felt the need to say something, although not much. Some of the questions we asked is, you know, this CEO Themba Matibe, he's facing serious allegations here, and the raid at his home was related to an operation looking into possible selling of city property and land.
Right.
where after the money was discovered. So them saying that they're waiting for a report back, my opinion, seems a bit of a cop-out. You know, you'd rather be proactive than be reactive, but that's how politics works these days, you know. It's always reactive rather than being proactive. And again, it shows why there's such instability and regression within the city of Johannesburg.
Yes, absolutely. And in my experience, these shareholder entities like the JDA just provide another level of opacity, because it's not really the department, it's an entity that reports to the department. So they have different sort of levels of accountability in what they actually have to report. But Khaya, we're very keen to see what you're going to do next. You're banging these out by the week, so thank you for your time, and thank you to our News 24 subscribers. If you have any information that could help Khaya with his City of Joburg investigation, please drop us a line on our completely confidential secure drop. Go to news24.com/tips, and thank you for your subscription. It helps us investigate these, stay on these stories, and have every resource available to us to investigate. So thank you.